excommunicated from the Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, the FLDS cult, as a teenager after a disturbing ritual. And 10 years later, she's haunted by blackouts and some issues causing self-harm. So she decides to return to the church as some exposure therapy to hopefully resolve the issues she's experiencing.
Exposure therapy sounds like returning to the scene of the crime. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It does work though. We did the research. Exposure therapy is a real thing. It can really make people better. So,
What is this? Is this like a recent thing?
exposure therapy?
Yeah.
No, it's a remedy as ancient as time itself. It's putting people in situations that test their uncomfortability in things so that they can be resilient and grow and you know get better. Right? That's
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, without elaborating on that anymore, let's talk about the script. So I see that there were a few people attached to the credits. So who was responsible for what?
Yeah, so after my first film, Awoken, I wanted to do a psychological horror, and I had an idea about a witch and had some ideas on things I could do, but I didn't really have a unique way into the story. And then I was introduced to Mike Harding through we've got the same manager at Zero Gravity, and we started talking, and he had a story about the FLDS, and Tisha Madsen, who's actually his wife, she had experienced, she was in the Mormon church and had all the true story elements of the film are actually her real life experience. So this is all really true, not the witch part, obviously, but the parts with the church and everything she went through was really what happened to her. So we sort of smashed those two ideas together, and that's how the script came about.
Very neat. Very neat. And so would it be like you weren't like all in the room together writing this thing though, right? Like someone would write some stuff and then you would assemble it and you tell me a little bit more about that. I'm
Yeah,
interested.
sure. Yeah, well, I'm based in Australia, and those guys live in Colorado in the states. So it was a lot of drafts back and forth, and big long 4 to 5 hour Zoom calls to go over everything. And then when I was doing a trip over there, I went and caught up with them, and we talked more about it. And they actually came down to the set when we were shooting as well. So there's been a lot of interaction with those guys. But it was just a process over time, and we really just worked it in a format just like this. We're able to talk, all the time. It was good.
Okay, very nice. And let's talk about your actors. Your characters are very compelling here. So tell me about landing these actors.
Yeah, well, I think certainly with Elizabeth Cullen, we when I first met her, she just had this incredible intelligence and asked pretty great questions about the character and the arc and the type of movie we were making, and we sort of built it out of there. And I knew she was the right person for the role based on those early chats and seeing some of her other work. And the other actors as well were so fantastic to talk to and build on, and really delving into and unpacking and understanding what each of their roles are within the tapestry of the movie that we're creating, and how much they should lean into that or lean into this, and where we kind of landed, how big the performances should be. Like the FLDS characters of Alma and Hiram are a little bit bigger than the sort of more grounded characters, sort of deliberately so. But I think it really works when it all put together. So couldn't be happier with the cast.
Very interesting. And what is your unholy trinity? What are your three favorite horror films?
Oh God. Certainly,
Or
The Shining. I think is probably the best horror film ever made. I mean, does Jaws count? I guess this one here. I guess that's a horror film, an action adventure and drama and all the things it is. Jaws. Um, and I'd probably say probably the first Conjuring movie actually
ooh,
is pretty great. I think that movie was a big leap forward for that style of horror. I think that was actually a more important movie than people realize, and that movie was great. So yeah, I'll go with
I
them two.
really enjoyed that movie, and I think it sort of is a good thing to link Diabolic with as well, because you know that family, those paranormal investigators are based on real people and quote unquote real events, and your movie deals with Mormonism. But what is your message to the people who are the Mormons out there who might see your movie and get pissed off at you?
Yeah, well, I guess the movie is really about the fundamentalist Latter Day Saints. It's not really about the sort of garden variety Mormons that are out there. I think Mormonism as a religion is not as crazy as we represent it to be in the movie, because what we're doing is focusing on a very, very specific sect, and lots of Mormons don't like the FLDS and their practices as much as anyone else. So I think it's a shot at the fundamentalists, not necessarily the normal Mormons.
Oh, okay. And did you think? What do you think of demonology in general, though? Do you think it's just a bunch of fun, bogus material for movies, or are you a mystic?
I've got my moments. I'd love to say that I'm, a very grounded, intelligent person when it comes to these things, but I also wouldn't do a séance in my house. So if that gives you an indication, I don't necessarily think it's real, but I don't want to tempt that stuff and sort of tempt fate. So yeah, that's probably where I stand on the supernatural.
Maybe it'd just be a hassle too. It's like a lot of people making loud noises and looking very intense. I think that sounds like an unpleasant thing to witness.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's hard enough to sleep as it is without having some poltergeist in your house, right? So what tempt?
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't help. But this life is full of stress outside of the movies. We all have things to worry about. And do you think horror films are like a cathartic stress buster? Have you viewed them as that in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think horror is such a physical, visceral experience when you're watching a movie, and sort of similar to sort of comedy movies in that sort of physical reaction that you have, and certainly when you have that experience with an audience as well, watching it with other people, like a packed cinema, watching a horror movie, is a pretty incredible experience. It's different to watching any other type of genre in a communal space like that. So I sort of liken it to those sort of, if you do those exercises where you can kind of you tighten up muscles and then release. It's sort of that's what a horror movie is the whole time. It's constant sort of tension and release, and I hope people have a very fun time watching the movie and come out of it feeling great. So that's kind of the objective.
And don't you think the best space for that is the theatrical space?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and especially with all the sort of commentary and discourse at the moment around what's going to happen to theaters and cinemas and potential mergers and all those things that are happening. I think now more than ever, people should be going to the cinema and not only showing their support for that, but also because it's just better. It's such a great thing. I don't think anyone ever regrets going to the cinema. They never go and go, "Oh, I wish I didn't go." It's always a fun experience. So I hope people get out and see it in the cinema.
Absolutely. And it's fun to have a cool setup at home and everything, but there's so many distractions as well.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, I've got a pretty gnarly home theater system myself, and as you know, funnily enough, I love movies, so I watch a lot of movies. But it's never as good as the cinema, and there is something special about making it an event and going out, and because you can do so many things at home now that sometimes it's special to go and sort of watch it. And also, we've spent a lot of time and care to really curate the theatrical experience of Diabolic. It sounds and looks incredible in a cinema. So I really hope people get down and get into a cinema to watch it.
Lovely. Will there be a Blu-ray of this film eventually?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the Blu-ray is going to be released later on this year, second half of this year. So I'm excited about that. There's some special features we put together just for the Blu-ray release as well, with some commentaries and
Oh,
documentaries and
did you
bits
do a
and pieces.
commentary track?
We did. We actually did a few different ones focusing on different aspects of the film. With all the HODs came in to do a whole bunch of commentaries. So there's a lot of sort of special features there. Because I grew up in the time of special features, and I learnt so much actually from watching and listening to those types of things. So it's sort of something that I wish there was still more of. So yeah, we want to contribute to that.
That's great. It's really interesting. The Blu-ray physical media community, it's definitely there. It's not like DVD culture 20 years ago, but it exists. They're very enthusiastic people. So the fact that you've got multiple commentary tracks, that's good stuff.
Yeah, well, I think if people really want to get the Blu-ray, there's going to be enough stuff there for them to delve into and make it worth it. So yeah, I hope people get around it.
Yeah, and as much and I truly love all these restorations of the classics stuff from 20 years ago, 50 years ago, but it's also fun to get new movies on Blu-ray.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm an avid collector. I've got over 2,000 DVDs and Blu-rays
Wow.
and 4K Blu-rays and yeah, and it's like it's that thing of now movies have become a file that sits in a cloud somewhere,
Mhm.
and all it takes is for someone to go, okay, we're going to take that off our service, and now that thing's disappeared forever and gone. You can't actually watch
Mm.
it ever again until someone unarchives it or something. So I like having discs, and also the quality level on the discs is just so much better than a streaming service. It's just it's the best way to watch a movie at home is on a physical disc. So hopefully, yeah, people can do that with Diabolic too.
Oh, well, I hope the whole world hears that. tell
Me too.
Tell me, where did you shoot the film?
The film was made in Adelaide in South Australia. So Adelaide is probably best known in the film community for the Phillips brothers. That's where they're from as well. So they're from
Oh,
Adelaide too.
great.
And movies like Talk to Me and Bring It Back were shot in Adelaide as well. And yeah, we spent a lot of time making sure that we could reproduce convincingly an American landscape and setting an environment, and hopefully people feel that they're sort of in a weird America that feels at
right.
times a bit unsettling, But yeah, everything was shot in Adelaide, and yeah, the
nice.
plantation, pine plantation, and in the studios here. So
Ah, well, it's like when Kubrick did Eyes Wide Shut. It's set in New York City, but it's obviously London, England.
yeah,
It's
well, that's right, that's right.
yeah, it's like a dreamlike, distorted version of what it is. Oh, and I was wondering, which one do you like more, though? Bring Her Back or Talk to Me?
I think Talk to Me. I think those guys are such great filmmakers, and they did such a good job with that film. And who knew it was going to be the success that it has become? But there's just so many great things to latch onto in that movie. So yeah, definitely that one.
Okay, well, Daniel, thank you so much for your time today. Um, is there a discernible or maybe general message in this movie that you want to end this interview with?
Well, I just hope that people have a great fun time watching the movie, but also they come away from it, really thinking about some of the deeper things we're trying to talk about, oppression of the feminine in organized religion and specifically in this cult. And hopefully they can see some of the things we're sort of injecting in there and some of the subtext and stimulate some conversation. We'll see.
Oh, okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me.